Are we gonna? Well, before we start, I was thinking, do we? Do
Well, we're starting.
we?
It's live now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But are we? Gosh, I was thinking of what we're gonna do. All right. Yeah. Okay. Hello,
What?
everyone.
All right. Well, good morning then, I guess. That's a good way to start.
Awkward.
Awkward.
Yeah. No, no, no. I was thinking if we should do the stuff that we have planned out, or we do. Do we do? Did you change the title? Now it's the time.
No, I
Make
didn't
America
change it.
great again. Oh, okay. So we're doing Make America Great Again. Let's do it.
Yes. Well, what else can we do, Right?
Yeah. From down, the only way is up.
Yeah, hopefully.
Two guys from two sides of the world. The Flip Side with Jay and Noel. Catch us live every Wednesdays and Sundays, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Philippines. Now, your hosts, Jay and Noel.
Today's one of those days where I'm just really having a hard time to wake up. I don't know what it is, And it sucks.
Maybe because it's the morning. That's usually
Well,
a good reason.
duh. No, typically I'm up fairly easy now. At my age, I'm always up by like 5 a.m. It's ridiculous. Okay, but today, for some odd reason, I'm just having a hard time to actually wake up. Wake up. Is that making sense? Like I'm still half asleep right now,
Ah,
and I
interesting.
hate it. Yeah. Anyway, what's up? What's going on? Good morning.
So before we get to work on making America great again, I just wanted to throw this out there, throw spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. If we get a chance to talk about it or whatever, or not,
Mm, mm.
dig into it or whatever. But these are the things that I just like picked up on over the week, and I just felt like, you know, it's like digging a hole in my pocket, or nabubulok na. It's like, that
Right, right.
like old banana bread that I leave in my backpack. After a week later, I
Jesus,
remember that
that's
it's
so
still there.
detailed.
So I figured I'd throw these out, and then maybe we could talk about it later, and then we could talk about why or how we're gonna make America great again. Okay,
All right,
fair. Since you're
fair.
still trying to wake up, there's a Filipino Canadian actor that's making history right now. He's doing the rounds. Have you heard about this? It's out on Netflix now. It's a new. Well, it's not
No.
new, but they made a live action version of Avatar, and like I said, maybe it's a little bit of history because
This the
he's
kid,
got a little
right?
bit of Filipino in him. Yeah, and he made the rounds here in the Philippines also, so we can look into that later. Young
Mm-hmm.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
Glock 9 also has a song that came out. It's called Serena. And then a
Nice.
few, like 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and then there's like a little bit of news about it being like the um, national anthem ng mga bading. so
What? Are you serious?
but what's awesome about it, the way I see it, is like the song came out 6 years ago, and it's really like, well, it's
Now it's
always
picking up.
picked up heart, yeah, but now it's like there's a couple of cherry on top bits of news
Right.
about it
Right.
also, if you wanted to look into that. And then, oh, there was this like, it's not Filipino related or anything like that, but the main actress for Snow White, it's like the worst uh like marketing campaign that they're doing right now, because it's like every time she's on in front of the camera, she's like, I don't really like Snow White. I didn't even grow up watching it. I hated it. She's the main actress for it.
Right.
So that's another thing. And then before Itbulaga, I wanted to mention the Jollibee reaction, the one that I shared with you,
Oh
if you
God.
wanted to look into that. But
Yeah.
I thought the last one that I wanted to mention, Itbulaga, you might know a little bit more about it. That like how they had this drama, and then how they won or lost, whatever it
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
have been about the name of Itbulaga. And then now I think the one that got left behind on GMA, the
Mm-hmm.
the Itbulaga, not Tito Vic and Joey, but the Itbulaga
The
show
other the
from
other
A.
hosts.
Did they get canceled, or they stopped airing already?
Did they really? I didn't
I
know
thought
anything
you
about that.
I thought
No.
you would know more than I do.
I did not
So
know about that. I knew that they were basically so. There's this one of those hosts and whatnot. I can't remember his name. That was just talking crap and bashing the other show, basically saying like, we are Eat Bulaga, yada yada yada, and basically he got canceled. But I didn't realize the whole show got canceled.
what do you mean he got canceled? Why did he get canceled?
Well, they're basically telling him to shut up.
Oh,
Yeah, I so it,
why would they?
because he was talking
Weird.
so much trash about he was trash talking the other show, basically. You know, and it was like it should be our title, it should be our show name, yada yada yada, and we'll always be Eat Bulaga type of thing. Now, them being canceled, I don't know. I didn't know that the show was actually taken out of the air. So hey, it was bound to happen, really, because they held on to that name for way, 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 way too long. So I'm not surprised if they got canceled.
Wow.
This
But when you
guy,
say
in the other
canceled,
hand, go
when you
ahead.
say canceled, you mean like they're off the air, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to
So
distract you. Is this what you were talking about?
yeah, it looks like that's it.
Binasura, desisyon ng korte. Nilabas
Mm.
na. Apela ng
Oh,
tape sa Itbulaga, binasura. Oh, so they did appeal and then it got dismissed.
right.
TRO laban sa TVJ denied. Wow.
I
Dating
mean,
EB host nagbalik Itbulaga. One host ng EB ayaw na mag-host. Okay.
I
Ay,
don't
nako.
understand. I mean, they should have just given it up to begin with. You can't say Eat Bulaga without Tito Vic and Joey. They should know that. Seriously.
You know. You
How are you
know.
going to change it after 3 decades or 4 decades? Really? You mean to tell me you're going to say, oh, it's Eat Bulaga, but we don't have Tito Vic and Joey? No, get out of here. Those three are the staple and they're the definition of Eat Bulaga. No matter who owns the name rights to it, whatnot, who cares? Never going to change. Eat Bulaga.
Are you awake now?
I'm awake now. I'm awake now. So, jumping in real quick, this guy,
Yeah. Mm.
Jesus Christ, what is up with this guy? Seriously, give me a thumbs up
I
if
was
you can hear
wondering.
it.
It's
I was
nighttime.
wondering.
Work's
Can you hear it?
over. All right,
Yeah.
guys. You know the drill.
So these guys
Stoned. It's time
are
to
just,
get the
I mean, this
leftovers.
guy is just
All right,
ridiculous.
guys.
Oh,
These are
it changed.
all the highest rated. All right, guys. It's nighttime.
You've seen this, right?
Work's over.
Yeah.
I may or may not have just.
What's your take on this guy?
It's
Seriously.
time to try some fucking
I don't
Jollibees
understand.
I've never fucking had in my life. Now, a lot
Oh,
of
hold
people
on,
might
hold
not
on,
even
hold
know
on. I
this,
think
but
I
my
think we
stepmom's
need to
from the
interrupt.
Philippines, so I grew up eating
Somebody, can you pause that for a second? This guy
Yeah.
can wait, but there's another guy in the waiting room that's in now. Can we push him in
Yeah, push him in.
so we don't keep him waiting?
How you doing, sir?
Megan,
Oh, hold on. Let me get some lights on in this house. What's going
Nice.
on?
Hey,
We don't
what's
wanna
going on?
we don't want to keep you waiting,
Oh,
man.
good,
But
man. Let me. I gotta switch one.
All right, well, get
side.
yourself
There we
situated.
go.
We'll pop
So
you
you
back
get-
in real quick. Get yourself situated, and we'll pop you back in. All right.
All right, sounds good.
yeah, I'll give you a couple of minutes. So
Yeah.
okay, so we'll put the Jollibee guy on pause, or do we talk
Yeah,
about
no,
why Dagan's here?
Let's finish this real quick, and then we'll jump into that with Dagan.
Okay.
So you've seen this, right?
Food, so
You've definitely seen this. I'm sure you've seen this. Now-
dry ass adobo
Mm.
rice. Sorry.
It pisses me off because first of all, this guy, it's obvious that the food that he's trying to supposedly rate or whatever or do a review on, it's not even fresh food. How are you going to review something that's not fresh food? Especially if it's something like this. If it's fried chicken, especially fried food, you review it as soon as you buy it. It's fresh food. You know what
Are
I
you
mean?
talking about this? Are you talking about the soggy French fries?
That soggy French fries, or him even spitting the spaghetti back into its own bowl. Really? First of all, the standards can't be that good. I mean, look at this guy. How can this, what gives this guy every right to even review this thing? You know?
I don't know. For me, what I can't even say that I find it insulting, but that's what most people are saying, right? That it's
Correct.
such an insulting thing. Like, you know, but for me, it's just overacting. It's just a little like
Over exaggerated.
theatrical. It's
Yeah.
exaggerated, like, oh, I'm going to get more views if I like spit out the food or if I show.
Right.
It's, I don't know. For me, it doesn't like. I don't mind if he doesn't like the food. I don't even like Jollibee spaghetti really. I
Right.
eat it, and then if I eat it and I don't like it, and let's say I'm not, I mean, in somebody's party, I just no, thank you, or I don't like it. Maybe I'll try
Correct.
something else next time.
Correct.
But just like showing the world, now this is how you act when you don't like it, and this
Right.
is how you show it when you're doing it on a podcast. You exaggerate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Mm-hmm. I don't really mind the review itself though. It's just the way you're gonna do it. If you're gonna do it, come on, man, give it a fair shot. That's not giving you a fair shot right there. You know what I mean? I mean,
Or at least not-
honestly,
at
Go
least
ahead.
not make it look like such a big deal. Like if you don't like it,
Correct.
then like get a tissue, or I don't know. He's not like refined from like Rhode Island, New York, or something like that. He's not from the Hamptons. He's not acting like it. Maybe that's not his brand. And yes,
Right.
maybe his brand is supposed to be acting quirky and funny and I don't know, millennial or what. But it's like, really? That's how we're going to represent it?
What really just got to me is
Or-
the fact that he's not giving
or-
it a fair chance.
If you want to spit it out, but at least make turn around. I don't need to see the food coming out of
Right.
your mouth.
Right. Or put it in a napkin or something and then put it away, for crying out loud. Don't spit it right back on the main dish itself. And then, well, I don't know if you remembered, what got to me really is, how are you supposed to give a fair review on this if you're going to take a fried chicken and dip it in pineapple juice? Really? Really?
Yun nga.
Get
It's a little
out of
too
here.
much.
Right.
I think
Anyway,
we need to get Dagan. We need to get Dagan on.
I'm
He's-
done with this guy. This guy is just pissing me off, honestly.
How do we put him on? Oh, there he is. Dagan.
There he is. He's it.
Jollibee spaghetti,
what's-
yes or no? Yes or no?
I don't
saw you
think
eat it. I saw
spaghetti
you
should-
eat it.
I did eat it. I'm a chef from America. I think that, and I have a lot of. I'm a saucier by trade, so sauce is my forte. Traditional bolognese and traditional spaghetti sauces should not have
Right.
sweet to them.
Oh, hold on.
You-
They
Bolognese tend to be a little sweet in some cases, right?
I would say it depends on whether you're at Olive Garden or an Italian grandmother's house.
Okay.
That's a good
But-
stuff of putting it. That's
Guys,
a good way
you-
of putting it. That's a good way of putting it.
I hope you guys are hearing how Dagan is saying, I don't like it. But he's using words, not
Right,
like
right.
food coming out of his mouth and then back into the same place where you got it at. So,
You know, I would say for him, good on him, because all news is good news. And just like was it, I think Nicki Minaj said when she went on and got her Grammy, she said, even the haters download my stuff to talk shit about it. So
Well, he did something
So-
right. That's for sure.
so if he's going viral, I mean, he's literally like, he's gonna make 10 grand off that video this month.
Oh,
So
that
Like,
just pisses
who's-
me off, man.
you know what I mean? Like, it's like hard to judge it as a content creator, because I'm like,
Right.
that sucks, and you're a POS, and you shouldn't do it that way, and you didn't realize that you're insulting 19 million people
Right.
in one country.
Right.
But at the same
Right.
time, bro, like, good on you,
Here
good
we
job, because it's viral.
But it's not
because
fair. It's not
because
fair.
here we are talking about
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Right.
Totally.
But it's definitely
Totally.
not fair. And like I said earlier, I'm okay with it, but it pisses me off when you're going to take a fried chicken and dip it in pineapple juice. Get out of here, dude. Seriously.
I mean, technically, when I do my fried chicken or like chicken wings, pineapple juice goes in my teriyaki glaze. But
It's
like,
on the glaze, but you're not dipping it in the juice.
right.
There's a difference, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Hey, if you
Yep.
guys are just joining us and you don't know who this guy is between us right now, he's a world history degree holder, a veteran, current immigrant himself, hanging out
Of
in
the
his kitchen right
Philippines.
now, and a ninth generation Floridian with blood ties to the native land rights and pedigree from 1400s. What an intro!
Yes.
What an
get
intro!
out of
Yes.
here. I mean,
Yes.
you probably
And-
own a quarter of that place, you know?
And I thought I
Yeah.
would I thought I would share that with you, hanging out at his Bohol kitchen right now, by the way, because there's this thing that Jason wanted to talk to you about. What's itching? What's scratching your socks right now? There's a pebble in your boot.
Yeah.
What is it, Jason?
So the big thing really is for quite a while. That's a good way of. All right. Okay. All right. I see where it's going. Now, it's such a big thing that's been going on really ever since the current President Biden has come in, where he has basically opened up the borders and embraced all these illegal immigrants or migrants into the country. And fine, honestly, okay, sure. It's the land of the free, home of the brave.
Can I pause?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I pause right there? So
Yeah, go ahead.
you will never hear me speak positively about Joe Biden. But I do have to correct you in the fact of that, like, so I'm from Florida. The floodgates have always been open. I remember as a child, the boats from Haiti, Dominica, and Cuba, like landing on the beach where we were having a Sunday barbecue, and 100 homies come running up the beach, and that was 30 years ago.
You've seen this up close and personal in on the shores?
If you have grown up in South Florida or ever been to the beaches in South Florida, I mean, last night alone, the Coast Guard caught a $1.4 million offshore boat with 60 Haitians on it last night.
Right.
And that's right near where my old house is. And that's very, very common. So yes, what he did take down Title 42. He did take down a couple other amendments. And he did stop construction of the wall.
Right.
But the wave had always been coming. I will tell you that.
Well,
so continue.
It's always been coming. It's always been an ongoing issue for as long as I can remember. Okay, but I've never seen it basically handing the keys to every single person. You know what I mean?
Maybe because I'm hearing about it now. Only because it's on social media now.
It's very simple. What controls the world?
Yeah, money.
Right. So they're literally incentivizing the thought of doing it. Like, I actually just had a laughing conversation with a friend of mine that if I go broke and it doesn't work here in the Philippines, I'm going to fly back to Mexico, drop my passport in a box and mail it home, and walk across the border, get a new name, new passport, a couple $1,000s, a free credit card, and a free hotel, and start fresh. Like,
it's insane. Noel actually made a good point about this on the last conversation regarding this. Well, come on in. It's free money, free food, free housing for 2 years. And what we're going to do is we're going to kick out a bunch of people from their own places, close out of school, so you got a place to sleep in. Really?
That's the Filipino spirit.
I think that, you know how you have, so first off, just a quick background for those that are watching. Obviously, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this. I got my degree in world history, wartime studies, and propaganda while in the military, while serving on deployment on the Abraham Lincoln, studying this over the last 500 years in a repetitive motion, and even studying it over the last 10,000 years, be it the Canaanites, the Palestinians, I mean, all over the world. This happens very often. You know, we're not alone in this. If you look at Spain and how bad they have it right now, Spain has lost half its country, and they're so close to the tip of Africa, like they just swim across. Basically, I mean, you look at the Canary Islands. I mean, it's all over the place. But for me, I would say that you have to represent it in the fact of, like, remember this: they're always going to go after your freedom in order, and when they do that, they're going to say they're doing it in order to protect your safety.
Correct.
And what we have here is a massive security issue. I honestly don't care about migrants coming across, because as a chef, I've employed every one of them. The best dishwashers, the best line cooks, the best prep cooks that I've ever had, the best fish hands on boats that I've ever worked with. Even in the military, some of the guys I worked with were migrants that joined the military to earn a citizenship.
Right.
They work hard, and none of us sitting here are going to go pick potatoes.
No. Well, I would. If I have to, I would.
For the opportunity.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but the problem is that the reason now in today's world, post 9/11, post Cold War, post espionage, The reason we have got to put up the wall is national security. And that is an unarguable fact. Like, I will tell you right now, if 3 million people have come across in the last 2 years, I guarantee you 5 to 10,000 of them are sleeper cells. And now I worked in the military. I worked with counterterrorism, joint task force terrorism, counterterrorism units. I've gone on pirate hunts. I've been there, done that with smugglers, Somalis, Saudis, Iranians, Africans. I've seen the good, the bad, and the evil from all corners of the world. And I will tell you right now that in America, Chinese, Shiite Sunni Muslims, and North Koreans, and Syrians, there's probably 20 to 30,000 sleeper cells in America right now today that are literally just waiting for the word activate.
Right. That's a scary thought.
There.
Yeah, I'm sure
they're in your malls. They're in your shops. They're in your malls. They're at the gas station. You have no idea.
Right.
Let me ask though, before we move forward with this, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. As I was saying to Jason a while ago, and it's a question: is it really bad now? The sleeper cells and everything that you mentioned, is it bad now because of the sign of the times, or is it only bad now because it's on social media, it's easy access for the news, and it's never been talked about before? Or has it always been equally dangerous?
It's one of those things where society doesn't like the truth.
Right.
Like if you're getting fat, you don't like me telling you you're getting fat, right? No one likes that. No one likes the ugly truth. People don't watch death. They watch fake death on Hollywood. And it has been a thing for a long time. Sleeper cells have always been here. How the hell do you think that the 9/11 job guys got here?
Correct.
So it's something that you've never stopped. Now, I'm a movie buff. Go back to Sicario. Okay, I don't know if you've seen the movie Sicario 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Sicario 2 lays it out there perfectly. The beginning of that movie, the beginning of Sicario 2 should be the campaign ad for the upcoming election, and it should be the financial and fiscal fact of why we need to build the wall and why we need to close the border.
Right.
If you go back and watch Sicario 2 and watch the first 10 minutes of that movie, that's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is. And that's how it is all the time.
The reality of things is it's never just closing the border itself is never going to be that easy of a thing to do. Like for example, a few episodes ago, Noel and I were talking about a literal 4-foot gap in the border between San Diego, this guy's private property, and Mexico. All right.
Yeah.
California will say, and basically told them, we don't have the funds for it. We need to get permission and funding from Congress. And I'm like telling myself, it's a 4-foot gap. I can go to Home Depot and probably buy enough bricks to brick it up myself, and it's not going to cost me $1,000.
There's two obvious facts here. Number one, it's too late. It's too late.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
No, I mean, they're here. Like, they're here. The problem's already here.
Correct. Yes, but you can plug it.
And number two is we can secure the border, but it's a political campaign issue. So it's going to take a while. And it's ironic, but do you know how many unemployed veterans there are in the world? There's enough veterans to man the wall. Like if you took every U.S. Army, just U.S. Army, not the other 5 branches. If you took just U.S. Army, there's enough qualified U.S. Army veterans who are unemployed and homeless, who, if you gave them a rifle and a job, we'd have an armed, trained professional in every school in America.
Wow.
That's a good point.
Wow, that's a really, really good point at putting it. And I agree with you 1,000%. In a way, that's why I think a lot of what's going on in Texas as well, how they're protecting their borders and whatnot, you can't blame them for it. You cannot
blame them. You cannot blame them whatsoever. Imagine living in El Paso. Imagine living in Eagle, Texas, and that's where your family heritage, that's where your lineage hails from. And then honestly, you got to look at it like, I'm an immigrant right now myself. I'm living in a foreign country. I have to earn it. Tomorrow morning, I have to get up and drive 4 hours to go do my visa extension so that I'm not blacklisted.
Right.
you have to humble yourself and realize that there are people, like there are Mexican Americans, Chinese Americans, there are immigrant American nationalists who have earned it. They have done their citizenship exams, taken all their courses, gone to school, paid their taxes, and taken 10, 15 years to get this U.S. citizenship. They finally get it, and now these other people get it for free and get paid to do it.
That's where I came from exactly, because as somebody who's been here for over 3 decades that actually went through the stages and the pattern of trying to get here, it's not easy, and it pisses me off. So all of these people that are coming in illegally, they're getting free housing, free food, free childcare, free healthcare for the next 2 years, free rent and whatnot. And there's also some of them.
I have to apply for EBT and childcare, and I might get denied because I make more than $1,200 a month.
Exactly. I've been there myself, and it's not exactly a good thing, And
yep.
One of the there's
Side
just
note here, Jason.
Side
note.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. You just got your passport like literally this year or just last year. Have you even ever used it? Has it even been stamped?
No, I just became a citizen last year. Okay, a U.S. citizen finally. That's at my.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something crazy? Dolph Lundgren, after all these years in America, got his citizenship last week.
See, I'm not alone. Decades, Dolph Lundgren. I don't know if you know him well. He's a very famous actor as well, Rocky and whatnot.
Rocky, yeah,
no, I haven't even used my blue passport. I'm trying to use it this year, but
it's pretty sweet once you have it. Once you have it, man, it's the new e-pass program. I just went through 4 countries last month, and like it's nice to have the blue book.
We're in the process of trying to get that as well to make it easy. The ID itself as opposed to the passport, But it's hard for me to be really angry about it because yes, it's kind of affecting me. This whole illegal immigrants coming in. Personally, it pisses me off because one, I'm busting my ass. I busted my ass to get to where I am and my status here in the country. And then now, New York City, for example, they're giving 2 years rent free, $1,700 or $1,700 in cards. Kids are getting diapers, fed, free, like I said. And a bunch of them right now as well just got arrested for robbery.
Right, right. And then, of course, we have to we have to go full circle here. If you're going to do a political podcast like this, you have to consider all sides, right?
Yeah, of course.
I am Native American on both sides of my bloodline. I have Calusa, I have Seminole, I have 2 other types of Native American bloodline from my father and my mother's side. And
just a fruit
again, if you're a walking colonial Eastern European white man, you are on stolen land anyway. Right. So there's the whole ethics conversation of try having this conversation with a Native American on a reservation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got you.
And again, you gotta humble yourself. Like, shit, that's a good point. Like, okay,
it is.
Who's the immigrant? Who's the illegal at this point? You know what I mean? We killed 35 million of them just to claim that it was our land. And
it's a good point. It's a good thing that you mentioned that. I mean, despite all of these things that's going on, like who's right or who's wrong, but you're right. Like, hold on a second. Let's go back to where it all really started anyway. It's a bit hypocritical if you don't mention it.
Right.
That's awesome.
What can be done now? So hence I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I'm not really a Trump person, to be honest with you, but honestly, considering who the options are right now, I'm kind of waving the red flag and saying, make America great again.
Yep.
Bring it back to the purpose or the reason of why we came here.
I honestly think that we need, if we're going to throw $187 billion to a completely falsehood war in Ukraine that we should have no part of right now.
Right.
There's
1,000%.
If you took, I think it was 0.03% of that money, you could fund all the homeless, jobless veterans for 10 years to man the wall.
Jesus Christ. Can you imagine?
So there's
Like,
here's the thing. There's a problem. There's solutions, except we don't
Mhm.
want to explore those solutions because
It's all
there's another
political.
agenda.
well,
There's an agenda.
I grew up with Magic School Bus, so I'm all about exploring here. Okay, like let's. I just explored half of Bohol today. I did 300 kilometers today on the bike.
Nice.
You've got to. We have to build the wall because we're getting to a point where it's going to be like Children of Men style movie. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah.
seen Clive Owen's movie
Yeah,
Children of
course.
Men.
Yeah.
Like the walls need to come because everyone else is building the wall.
Yeah.
And that's the simple, like you know how we have a nuclear deterrent, right? The nuclear deterrent is that everyone has nukes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the deterrent. So the immigration deterrent is, I mean, look at Venezuela, what they've just done. You know, they locked up 97,000 gangsters in 3 months. They had to kill a couple thousand of them to get there, but now their murder rate went from the highest in the world to the lowest in the world in 3 months because they took drastic measures. We need to build the wall.
It takes one guy to take that lead. I apologize for cutting you off, but you know,
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Venezuela's
Go ahead,
perfect. Yeah, Venezuela really perfect example right there. He did what he had to do in a way, just like what Duterte was trying to do before.
Right. You know, there's a million other things that guy needs to do. Venezuela still has no financial system. They still have no healthcare system. They still have no food and infrastructure to feed their famished people.
Right.
And they still have MS-13 ruling the woods and the jungles. But at the same time, like he did do one thing right, and it's very tough because, you know. But even then, the House Senate of Venezuela continues to revote that emergency act in every 30 days. So it's not like he took over as some kind of righteous king. They're voting to allow him that overall authority every 30 days.
Right.
And the wall has to be built. It's got to be built. And we need CCTV up and down the whole thing. We need drones. We've already invested, you know, growing up in Florida in St. Augustine, I watched Northrop Grumman build all the Predators, all the drones. And then I moved to Seattle and got stationed in Everett and watched
hold on. Are you?
build the
I
rest of them.
apologize for cutting you off, but are you allowed to say this stuff? Some of this, some of that stuff.
I would never say anything that I'm not allowed to say.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure. I don't want
Not only do I have, I've been studying and taking a little bit of PR training lately, and I also have plenty of training when it comes to saying what I'm cleared to say or not. And I also lost my certain level secret clearance a few years ago because it was just time. And I didn't maintain it, so I could care less. You know, aliens exist. They've already said that in Congress. What do I?
Right.
But yeah, no, it's got to happen, man. The wall has got to happen. There is an issue there. You know,
we
and
need
all that we have
somebody
is
to take that stand. We need to take that. There needs to be that one person that stands up in front of everybody else in Congress. You know,
yeah,
it needs to be done.
But it has
who's
to
gonna
be.
do it?
The problem is that we as a country in the United States, and I know I'm sitting in the Philippines right now, and I left because of the Biden thing. You know, like Oprah and all them said, and The Rock said that when Trump would get in office, they would never come back to the States. Well, they all sat there and enjoyed their Hollywood life.
Yeah.
When Biden got in office, I left. So at least one of us can walk the walk and talk the talk.
Right.
But the problem is that we allow ourselves as Americans to separate church and state and separate state and federal. And we allow states to maintain their own sovereignty and their own infrastructure and their own government. And if we're going to do that and wait and let it play off like it is with Governor Abbott and Biden, we're never going to get anywhere. It does have to be an overall authoritarian federal move. It has to be because there's 6 states.
Right.
There's 6 states, and two of those states are as blue as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
And they're never going to put that wall up if you don't make it happen.
Right.
When
But
you
again,
walk the walk, talk the talk, you are idol or lods.
Lots.
I mean, it's something that's really been in my head as I see it. It's been brewing every single day here. The news up and down, the money that we're spending as taxpayers providing. I mean, for crying out loud,
It's an
Chicago
election year.
spends. Yeah, Chicago is spending $95 million of excess money from the COVID pandemic to create housing and support for the migrants.
So I have
Okay.
a question. Do either of you know who Peter Santarello is?
I've heard of, but not too familiar.
Peter Santarello is pretty much the OG Yoda in today's world of direct, raw journalism. He's a vlogger. He's a genius. All he does, he self-markets. Everything's his own thing. He walks around with a GoPro. That's all he uses, a GoPro and 2 DJI mics. And the guy's averaging 20 million views a week right now.
Okay,
week.
yeah.
Say his name again.
Yeah.
Say his name
Peter
again.
Santanello. I've seen this guy. Yes, I have.
Peter
seen him.
Santarello. And
Yeah.
now he did 2-part series on the border.
Mhm.
And then he did a 2-part series on Chicago and Detroit and New York on the migrants coming there and what they're dealing with. And we don't have time to go in and tell the whole story, but I highly recommend anybody who's watching this podcast, you go watch the 2 border episodes that Peter did. And he did them one with DHS and one with the sheriff in Arizona who maintains part of the border wall. And it was mind-boggling. Like, you got to see things in his hour-long episodes that the news will never show you.
Yeah,
Ever.
yeah.
And then when he did the Chicago episode and showed, like, do you know that every police precinct in Chicago is the ones now housing the migrants?
Yeah, I heard that. I mean,
Sweet.
in New York City, schools are being vacated to do that.
Well, so
you know?
so if you watch Peter's episode, he actually shows it. Like, he's there with the police department chief in Chicago, and they go around from station to station, and all day long they're outside camped out, pissing in the street and throwing things at people. And then at night they allow them to camp and sleep in the station. If you have a problem in Chicago and you need to get to a police station, you can't even get in the door right now.
Right. I can't even imagine. It's now all of these cities that are creating housing and whatnot for these migrants, providing food, shelter, yada yada yada. So they're running out of money. So guess what they're doing? They're literally repacking up these buses, taking them into cities, and just letting them out. Letting them out. Right now in San Diego, the biggest the city that basically started doing it, bus after bus going into different parts of the city, just letting out all these migrants, and then that's it. And then what? What's going to happen? It's who's going to take care of all these people? I don't understand. I understand that they did their countries. They don't want them back, but why is it why is it our responsibility?
Well, because we opened the border and we incentivized it.
Exactly. But
we incentivized it. We're not even the fact that we incentivized
it's not
it.
Fair.
That we incentivize homelessness more than we incentivize jobs. Like in most states, and in most blue states, I can make more money and have better health benefits if I claim indigent and homeless, like homeless and jobless. I get full benefits, full pay, EBT, WIC. I get groceries, I get food, I get housing, I get medical insurance, and all I have to do is say I'm jobless and homeless.
Right.
That's
but
how you game the system.
the moment I get a job, I lose all of that. The moment I get an apartment, I start having to pay.
Yeah, but that's why nobody looks for jobs, because why would they? Why would they? It's literally taking over the system and taking advantage of it. And I'm sorry, but we're paying for it. Taxpayers are paying for it, and it sucks, for people like us as well. I'm an average guy that makes an average wage and whatnot, and it doesn't help that what's going on. It's also raising all the prices everywhere else, from food, from gas to gross and whatnot.
It's painful, man. It's painful to watch, and I'll tell you a different experience with it. I was living in Seattle in 2017. I had my own seafood, poke, and sushi shop. I had just opened. I had the #1 shop for seafood and sushi and poke in Seattle, and I actually was the #1 poke shop in the country at that point. I had an unlimited budget. I was buying whole bluefin tuna and flying them in from the Tzatziki market every week and carving them up as showcase. I had an amazing setup, and I was hiring the best of the best that I could find in town. And our wages were highly competitive. And I think 6 weeks into opening, King County, which is Seattle, dropped the gavel and went from $9.75 an hour to $16 an hour.
Oh, Jesus
Overnight. And
no warning whatsoever?
no, there was a warning, but it was brief, and we thought that it was going to appeal, and we thought that it was going to be a inclination thing where they go up 50 cents every 6 months or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And so basically and they were like, "Oh, this is to protect small business." Every single small business in the city basically went under in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Because the corporate entities had to match it. There was the law.
Yes,
They said that the only people we're directly affecting in this policy and law is corporate entities with over 500 employees. So that's all the big corporates: Starbucks, McDonald's, all that.
Yeah.
So McDonald's and Starbucks started paying 16 to 18 an hour minimum. My guys were making 12 to 15 an hour, starting with full benefits. And the next day I had to compete with McDonald's and Starbucks. I had one kid who was like, "I'm going to go across the street to Starbucks, make $19.50 an hour and work half as hard." And I said to him, I said, "Bro, I can't argue with that. And I can't match it."
You can't. And you can't.
When you combine that type of inflation and hypocrisy with the border control and the migrant population, in my opinion, if we're going to fly a flag in BC, it better be upside down at this point.
Yeah. That's a harsh reality.
This one right here. That one right there.
But it might happen. Who knows?
But I like
can't.
what you said a while ago about the both the border and I guess the inflation. Paying your wages to your employees, about it all happening under the guise of what? Safety. Under the guise
we will always persecute your freedom in the righteous way of saying that we're going to protect you. Like, they're always going to come after your freedom in order to protect you. That's what they'll say. Always. Like, they're gonna come after the gun rights and your Second Amendment right so that you don't get shot. And like, wait a minute, hold on. That's the whole point, is that I can protect myself.
Right.
Well, in order
So
to protect you, we're going to
away.
take your guns.
Right.
Listen,
Which
I don't
doesn't
want
make sense.
Having said that, I don't want this conversation to go into like abuse and like manipulation and that kind of thing. But that reminds me of, let's say, a parent that would say, "Oh, no, don't go, don't." Let's say wife and I had a divorce or what. And it's like, no, don't see your mom because I need to protect you, or vice versa. Mother says, "Oh, don't see your dad because you can't really have to spend time with him because you never really know who he's hanging out with. You need to spend more time with me." And so therefore the other parent doesn't get to see the child doesn't get to see the other parent, all under the guise of, "I'm protecting you. I'm the protecting mother."
I'm with you, bro. Father's rights movement. Father's rights movement.
It's a DAGAN. Before we let you go, is there anything else that you wanted to show, Jason? Because I wanted to segue towards millennial word of the day, and I got one for you guys.
Okay.
I would say that to knock on wood, ironically here, I don't know if you noticed, but the Philippine government is considering a Second Amendment style clause and arming Filipino citizens for the upcoming war. I don't know if you saw that article this week.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that one. I just heard.
There is massive talks. There's massive talks in the Philippines right now about arming the Filipino people and allowing Filipinos to purchase guns, long form rifles, and all that stuff in order to protect themselves for what's coming.
Yeah, to loosen up the gun restrictions.
What's your take on that, real quick? Is that something that's scaring you? That since you're there as an expat as well,
and then all the guns are made in
not
China.
at all. Not at all. I think it's genius. Like if you go back to World War II, right, and go back to what Admiral Yamamoto said after December 7th, 1941, when they bombed Pearl Harbor. His war cabinet greeted him and said, we won, we did it, it's a great success. And he said, not at all, my friends. We have just woke the dragon, and we will never, ever, ever be able to defeat that dragon, and we will pay with it with our very lives.
Right.
And they did. And they did. And I think people have to remember why, at the end of the day, does nobody mess with America? Because every one of us have a gun.
Right.
So if you armed every Filipino citizen, granted, there are some, and I'm not going to say this in a rude way, there are some lesser educated humans in this country that carry a little bit of emotions.
As it is over here.
Right. And I would not want some of these backwoods yokels who drink Red Horse and go screaming down the street at night to have a gun. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So like there's every citizen in the world needs the right to own their own gun, but there still needs to be screenings, and there needs to be
absolutely
all this stuff. And all that does is open up jobs. Screeners, therapists, all that stuff.
But it's also human nature that it's also going to cause a lot of issues where there's going to be some innocent lives that are going to be gone too soon, no matter what.
Yes and no. But at the end of the day, like, look, I said this when I was in Bali. Like Indonesia has no guns, right? Me and 12 dudes could take over Indonesia tomorrow. They've got no military. Look at some of these countries with no military. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke. Like, why do you think that the Philippines needs 9 U.S. bases on its land and sovereign soil?
Right.
Because Big Brother's got to be here with the big guns and the big muscles, because you don't have the guns yet.
Right.
You don't have the guns, and so like I think weaponizing the civilian population. I think it's a smart plan, but I think they got to do it carefully.
Oh, very carefully, especially in the Philippines as well. Unfortunately, like you said, not everybody's exactly educated into things. You know what I mean? People could get hurt.
I don't like the slack-jawed yokels, man. They don't need to be having it.
Spitting some truth, some facts.
Listen, thank you very much for jumping in and chiming in regards to this. This is pretty much the very reason why I wanted your 2 cents in it, to be honest with you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm really honored to be here. And offline, I have some very big updates for you guys that I cannot put out publicly for 5 more weeks.
Nice. Looking forward to that.
I'm not about to cancel you yet. If you do have another minute, I'll put you in on this word of the day for us.
All right,
because I think you guys will find it interesting. Have you guys heard of the breakdancing dad?
Breakdancing dad? I've heard of the rapping dad, not the breakdancing dad.
I haven't heard of the breakdancing dad.
There's this internet issue that's going on right now. Dad, no. Let's start with the daughter. The daughter like post a TikTok video about like, oh, let's talk about trauma. Like, what are the funny things that happened to you as a child that's traumatic, but you find it funny? Oh, here's one for you. I'll start one. My dad left me because he decided to become a breakdancer. And then
Jesus Christ.
So she was talking about how her dad left him, basically a deadbeat dad, leaving her. And this is going to segue to millennial word of the day.
All right.
So dad leaves daughter. Daughter complains about it now. She's in her 20s, working in Hollywood somewhere. And basically complaining, talking about her trauma, how her dad leaves. And then the dad replies on a video on YouTube, also saying, hey, I'm glad to hear about my daughter, and it's nice to see that she's putting up her TikTok video, and that's an interesting take on it, but let me spit out some facts for you. But basically they have a back and forth about how the dad left the daughter, and the daughter and the dad is saying, no, I didn't really leave. Well, for one thing, we were divorced. Number 2, I gave the mom like $2 million, $18,000 per month for child support, medical insurance, $600 college fund, basically $5 million at the end of the whole thing. That I wasn't a deadbeat dad. I was actually giving money to your mom.
Right.
And I was actually taking pictures and video. Matter of fact, he was spitting out the receipts. of all the time that he got to spend with him. And here's where the millennial word of the day comes in. As I was watching these Gen Z sort of react to it, right? I keep hearing, "Oh, the dad's." Hold on, I don't even remember what the word is. Where is it? The dad's based. The dad's based. Like based. What is that?
Based is a Zennial word. That's very much a Zennial word.
Yeah, exactly.
Based?
So, have you ever heard of this
Yeah.
word before?
No.
I have lately.
What exactly
I'm
does it
looking-
mean?
I'm looking for here. I'll tell you.
Based.
UrbanDictionary.com.
According to the dictionary that I got, what does based mean? Based is a slang term that originally meant to be addicted to crack cocaine or acting like you were, but was reclaimed by a rapper, Little B, for being yourself and not caring what other people think of you. To carry
Yes.
yourself with swagger.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
you're based like this dad, he's 65 doing his thing, and one of the truth bombs that he dropped on this thing with the daughter was that he started breakdancing only 7 years after the divorce. It's not
So
because,
she
I
got it
decided
all
to-
wrong, basically.
Well, that's probably just from the post-apartheid opinion of the baby mama. The BM, man, Bill. I'm telling you right now, like I've got a 14-year-old son out there right now who he probably thinks I am as cruel as could be because of his mother. And meanwhile, I'm like, bro, you want to come surf and travel the world with me, man? I'll teach you everything you need to know.
Right.
Like
Wanna go to Bohol?
I'm sitting here pretty based right now. Like you look at Dana White. Dana White's a based dude.
Right.
Dana White is
Wow.
based. He operates. If you go back to the Big Lebowski, he operates at a level of FU.
Look at
He's
Dagan
able to do that, though.
flexing.
You know what I mean?
Flexing
I mean, he's got,
word of
he
the
can
day.
flex it. Yeah. Well,
Based.
Look at
there
that.
you go.
They use-
Based.
Using it as in a sentence, like just like that, like
Just like
slides off
that.
like like
I'm
like
trying to
butter on
figure
bread.
out how
And
to
we're
use
still
it,
trying to
and he's
figure
just
out what it means.
spitting it.
Like, look,
Jesus
kid, I'm
Christ,
based.
man.
I'm sitting here chilling, man. I'm based.
Right.
There you go, folks. That's the millennial word of the day. Hang on, Dagan. Hang on.
Millennial word of the day.
All right. Well, Dagan, thank you very much for giving us your time. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you
I know
so
you-
much, you guys.
Sorry, I know you can't announce anything right now, but hopefully we get to hear the news pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll be done in 8 minutes. We can talk after, but before we do let you go and take you off the stage, what do you call this? What's next for you? What are you working on right now that you can announce?
Well, so first off, thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor to be here. I have YouTube, Facebook, Insta, and TikTok going right now. The Millennial Legends world is evolving. I'm looking at some big branding deals. I'm looking at some big labels right now. Currently, we're in a massive transition right now, and I will explain that offline to you guys here soon. There is both good news and very tragic news in the Millennial Legends world right now.
Okay.
Very, very tragic news.
Okay.
And
You're teasing me.
so right now you are going to see Facebook is more up to date. TikTok is daily reels.
Mhm.
And YouTube is in sequential order. So for the next 6 weeks, YouTube is going to catch up with this week.
Okay.
And so you're gonna see our trip across Thailand and across Malaysia. You're gonna see our trip in Manila, Tondo, and all that stuff, and then our trip on the to-go ferry back here across the Philippines. And then once you see that to-go ferry episode, the Millennial Legends world is going to change, and it's going to change
Okay.
in some very, very humble and somber ways. And I just want to thank everyone who's been part of the Millennial Legends crew so far, because it is going to be completely different in 6 weeks, 5 weeks,
Wow.
5 weeks now.
Something to
like
look
a breakup.
forward to. Again, thank you
Sounds
for
like a
joining
breakup
us.
Of Itbulaga, it's like everything's all changing. Jeez.
Everything, brother.
On a lighter note,
Everything.
though, before we let you go, what's for dinner? What's cooking behind you? Are you cooking anything? Or were you having dinner tonight?
All done, man. Voila, all done, cleaned up. Rona. I've got. I did hamanada, and pancit baboy. Pancit bihon baboy tonight.
Oh, that
So-
sounds good. That sounds good. Look
Yeah.
at this guy.
Yeah, I
Look
am
at this
thoroughly
guy.
ready to challenge. I am ready to chef challenge any Filipino chef in the world in their own food right now. So-
Wow. Some biting
Lodi.
words.
Lodi.
That's it. That's
All
it.
right. Well,
That's
thanks
all I
for
can
joining
say.
us. We'll catch up with you shortly, okay?
Thank you guys. It's been an honor to be here. Good luck with everything, and we'll talk soon.
All right.
Okay, we'll put you on hold, or do we? Is he
We'll
jumping?
we'll
off?
put him on
Okay.
hold for a sec. Yeah, whoa. Jesus, that was pretty heavy, wasn't it?
Yun ang Lodi.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Idol.
This guy is just a machine. It's insane. He's just like Energizer Bunny. What the hell? It's like, come on.
Oh, let's go.
Right. Jesus Christ. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, dude, relax. Let me catch my breath for a sec. Let me get a drink and let's go.
How does Tin call it? Parang turumpo. But there's another that like the daredevil. The what do you call
Tasmanian devil.
that? Tasmanian devil. Yeah.
Also,
pero si
by the
Tin-
way,
si-
I'm
si
sorry.
Tin,
Yeah.
let me just compliment her real quick. She'll be washing. She'll be doing the dishes. She'll be doing the laundry. She'll be cleaning the toilet, and then she'll be
Yeah.
cooking all at the same time. It's like, woo! It's like she's on like cocaine or something, or
Also-
is it methamphetamine?
I'm a little pissed off at Dagan and Alyssa, to be honest with you, because my wife has literally turned our show as a secondary because she's always watching their show. It's pissing me off sometimes. You know? I'm like,
Millennial Legend.
yes,
Binge watching the
She's-
Millennial Legend.
literally catching up to. She's watching Millennial Legends more so than watching our show right now. You know?
Because we don't have any beaches and food on the podcast.
Yeah, because it's son of a beach. It's like it's whatever. What?
We need to change the background, change the scenery, have a couple
Right.
of babes like on their bikinis walking around.
Right. Well, I think that's it for today, right?
That's a good place to wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's wrap it
Man,
up
I'm
there. Hey,
excited.
I'm excited to find out and talk to Dagan off air and see what's going on. But well, that's it. Anything else you want to add on?
I just wanted to say I'm so glad I was able to pop in the millennial word of the day today.
Nice, good swing right there. Hey, thanks for.
I was literally like, what the F is based? It's like, oh, the guy's based.
I'm still trying to
Gee.
figure out how to put that on. To be honest with you, I don't get it.
That's it. That's just how they say it. Like, oh, he's based. Like he's like grounded. He's doing his thing and he's not worried about what other people are thinking about him.
It's some of these words we're just too old that we can't say it. Like we don't have the right to say it. It does not flow right. Literally, like I said before, I'm turning into those. I am those people that I hated.
Yeah, because in the back of your mind, you're thinking like, based on what?
Exactly. That's
You know,
what
like
I
whatever the
think.
word is, it's like you're connecting it to
right.
the old meaning. Oh, it's based on what?
Right. Anyway,
So that's it. I'm just so
That's
proud
it.
of myself.
that's it, guys. Thank you for joining us. Another day, another dollar. Check us out on the next episode, which will be this Sunday at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Philippines. Also, show announcement. We are going to have a little change on the schedule that we're planning. Just to let you know, okay? We
Thinking
don't know if
about
it's
it, thinking
gonna.
about it.
Yeah, we're thinking about it. We don't know if it's gonna pan through or not, but it might happen. We'll see. Anyway. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, this is The Flip Side with Jay Noel. My name is Jay.
Name's Noel.
We'll catch you guys later.
On the flip side.
On the flip side.
Thanks for tuning in. Catch us on the next episode, Sunday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Philippines. This is The Flip Side with Jay and Noel.